Before we do anything, I want to preface this with we do play things besides fighting games.
We do?
That said, we're talking about another fighting game.
Sorry.
So here we have Tekken.
Yeah.
Tekken I didn't actually play until like 2002?
No, we played it.
No, Tekken. We started with Tekken 3. I'm talking about the original.
Yeah, we played Tekken 3 in like 98.
98. I'm talking about the original Tekken. I didn't play this till like 2002.
Yeah.
Tekken.
Did we play this one or Tekken 2?
We played Tekken 2 way before we played this one.
Okay.
The first one I remember getting was Tekken 3.
Tekken 3 is the one. It was all over the arcades, and we had it.
And then my cousin had Tekken 2, so I played that at their house. And then I didn't play this till I was like 10. But
we were in Pennsylvania when we first played Tekken.
Yes, we were. But regardless, that's not the point. My personal history with Tekken aside, I'll get more into that when we get to Tekken 3.
Yup.
Tekken 1 is a very different fighting game to say Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But before we talk about the gameplay mechanics, let's talk about the plot.
There's a plot?
Oh boy. So, before the game started, we were introduced to a young boy named Kazuya Mishima, who was son of the martial artist Heihachi Mishima.
He's an asshole.
And him, being him, throws his son off a cliff.
Well, Frankie, don't you know? Lions toss their cubs off cliffs, and the ones who come back are the strongest, and therefore they get to be raised.
Was that from the anime?
That was from the anime, which is entirely wrong because lions are extremely protective of their young.
Regardless. So, Heihachi's logic is that if you're tough enough to pull yourself out of the
Well, what we thought at the time.
We'll get to that in Tekken 7, but Kazuya gets out of there. I'll explain why in Tekken 2. He gets out of there, and he's pissed.
Now, I don't know if they mentioned it or not. So did he just, like, come back home and said, yeah, I lived?
No. He started training. So Kazuya builds up a reputation as an indefeatable street fighter until he has a draw with a guy named Paul Phoenix.
Yeah, he does. Paul Phoenix, everyone regards. He's now pretty much a joke character, but back in the
first
day,
trilogy, he was
a badass.
So Heihachi,
you didn't fuck around with Paul.
Heihachi, who is the main antagonist of this game, Kazuya is the protagonist. Heihachi's the antagonist.
Now we say Kazuya's the protagonist. Doesn't mean he's a good guy.
He's just the main character.
He's just
of the
main character
of the story.
He's still a fucking dick.
So Kazuya finds out, or Heihachi finds out Kazuya's been around, so he starts the King of Iron Fist tournament, or Tekken. Or the Tekken tournament, which means Iron Fist, to draw in Kazuya. Kazuya eventually does beat pretty much everybody. Beats Paul, gets Heihachi. And Heihachi didn't expect to lose, but he does. And then Kazuya throws him off the exact same cliff he got thrown off of and smiles. That's the story.
Yeah.
So Kazuya wins the tournament and gets control of the Mishima Zaibatsu. We'll get back to that in Tekken 2.
Yeah.
Tekken 1's story isn't really anything to write home about. It's a typical fighting game storyline.
Yeah, the story doesn't really get going and become a big thing.
Until 2.
I'd say more 3.
2 has a much bigger story than this.
Yeah, but 3 is when it starts getting going.
But, so, the roster of this game is actually quite small. The main playable characters are, of course, Kazuya. Kazuya. Paul Phoenix. King, who's like a Mexican luchador with a jaguar mask on.
King's awesome.
Martial Law, who was a martial artist based on Bruce Lee. Nina Williams, who's like a trained assassin.
Yeah.
Michelle Chang, who is Native American, I think.
Yeah, she's a Native American environmentalist.
Jack, who is a cyborg.
He's Russian.
He's Russian. And then Yoshimitsu, who is really, really weird.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a ninja, but
he's also like Robin Hood, but he's also he's a robot. There's too much going on with Yoshimitsu. And then it gets even crazier.
And each character also has a rival character, who's basically like their clone. So like Kazuya has Lei Xiaolon, who's like his adopted brother.
Yeah.
Paul Phoenix has Kuma, who's a bear. King has Armor King.
Armor King's awesome.
Jack has Prototype Jack.
Yeah, Pete Jack is in this. That's what we used to call him back in the day.
Nina has her sister Anna. Michelle, I think, is Ganryu?
Yeah, it's
the
Ganryu.
big sumo guy?
It's Ganryu.
Yoshimitsu, I think, is Kunimitsu.
Yeah.
I can't remember who Martial Laws is.
I think the old man.
Wang?
Yeah.
Wang, okay. Wang Jinrei, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And then there's, of course, the boss character, Heihachi, who is a jerk.
He's an asshole.
Not just in continuity. He's really hard to beat in this game.
He's an asshole.
But in terms of fighting mechanics, it's really stiff.
Yeah, it's stiff, it's floaty.
Like, each button controls a different limb of your character. So, like, triangle does left arm, square does right arm, and then X and circle do left kick, right kick type of thing. And you have to use those in combos and with the directions to do moves and throws.
It's very big, first of its kind of fighting.
It's not beginner friendly.
No.
The arcade mode, even on easy, will kick your teeth in. It's actually really frustrating to get through. I actually almost threw my controller a couple times playing it recently. Especially Heihachi. Oh my god. He's such a jerk. But,
the thing with this game is, unlike a lot, I mean, yeah, that's important in fighting games, but this one's really, you gotta focus on those combos.
you need to get those combos going or you're not getting anywhere. Blocking is actually really, really more difficult to do than it should be.
Yeah.
The graphics for the time were great. They have aged like garbage. The arenas are boring. The characters move and look awkward, and their voice effects are like, ha! Wah! Twa! Kazuya's voice actor is ridiculous.
Is it the same one as what came in Tekken 4? Is it the same guy?
No.
Okay.
No, I think the
Because
only
when
one...
Tekken 4 came along...
They actually start talking.
Yeah.
I think the only one who kept their voice actor was Jin. But we'll get to that in Tekken 3.
Yeah.
But, Jesus Christ. It's not a bad first attempt.
I think also Heihachi in Tekken 3.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's not a bad first attempt, but this is not the Tekken I tell you to go pick up right now.
It's definitely the first one.
Like, only get it now if, one, you have nostalgia for it, or you're completing the franchise. Otherwise...
It's definitely the first one of the series.
Like, 2 is a way better game than this.
It is definitely the first one.
I'd still say this is better than, like, Mortal Kombat 4, but... Maybe?
Tekken 1, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Tekken 1 is
Tekken 1 is rough.
It's rough.
It's rough around the edges.
I can actually play MK4. That I'm just like, no.
Yeah, only play this, honestly, if you're extremely curious.
And if you have friends. Do not do the arcade. Don't
If you have friends, you're not going to play Tekken 1. You're probably going to play Smash Bros.
If we're all drinking and whatnot, it's like, let's pop in some Tekken 1.
If you're
let's go
drinking-
through all the Tekken games.
If you're drinking, watch The Room and riff it.
True.
That's a review we should do.
Oh, God, yeah. We should actually do that.
Oh, jeez. But in all seriousness, Tekken 1...
I wonder if we could do that, Uncle Fee would let us get Greg on it.
Don't tell people about that. Now I'm going to get questions.
We don't know Greg Sestero.
We don't. Shut the fuck up. Tekken 1. It's rough. It's got a charm to it. But if you're going to play a Tekken game, I'd say start with Tekken 2.
I have a one-word review for Tekken 1.
Twa! All right. This is going off the rails. So, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.